y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black. But I'm gonna keep it brief. Let's get down to the brass tacks. Nothing in this country was designed to support or uplift Black Americans. This goes for the government created by our founding fathers and the entertainment industry created to gratify rich white socialites.
Imagine how upset they must have been to see a bunch of coloreds playing them on stage.
Incensed.
Rapping their life story to a beat.
Rolling in their grave because Shakespeare could try,
but he could never.
Well, hey, David Diggs. Welcome to my parking lot.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Did you know the data shows the film industry remains one of the least diverse compared to even some of the most lucrative corporate sectors like energy, transport, and finance? 92% of all film executives are white, and that's by design. And though there was a concerted effort to diversify award recognition in film after the 2015's Oscar So White campaign, Hollywood seems to just flat out refuse to embrace diversity in the way TV has attempted to. They might as well hang a "No colors allowed" sign above the door. And it's just like with everything else in this country, Black people have had to fight our way into that space and tell our own stories to prevent film from being used as yet another cog in the machine that is systemic racism and injustice. And it did function that way for a long time. Prime example, Birth of a Nation. In 1950, when D.W. Griffith dropped the film, it was an immediate sensation.
Boo, tomatoes, we throwing tomatoes.
The film, set mostly in South Carolina after the Civil War, glorified the Ku Klux Klan as saviors of the South while portraying newly freed Black people as literal brutes and beasts. There was a scene with fried chicken on the Congress floor with people's feet on the table. And if you know anything about Black mothers, we would never. There was the prolonged plot of a feral man in blackface chasing a white woman to death, literally. The general premise of the film was that if white Americans let Black people gain any type of power, they would overrun the government and rise up against Southern white people in hopes to commit vengeful violence and force white women into sexual relations. Sound a lot like what white people did to Negroes in real life. Truth is, I'm tired. Anyway, despite the gravely offensive—
Well, none of it was gravely offensive. The year was 1915.
Correct. What I'm trying to say is the movie was a smash. There were exclusive screenings with expensive tickets, and it became the first film ever to be screened at the White House. This movie was even screened internationally. And the newly formed NAACP and Black authors like James Weldon Johnson, however, were not having it. That man said The Birth of a Nation would bring incalculable harm to Black Americans by justifying racism, and guess what? My boy James was right. The film's popularity resuscitated the Ku Klux Klan. A lot of people don't know it emerged directly after the Civil War, created by bitter and washed Confederates, but it went inactive in 1872 following the Reconstruction. But when this film came out, we saw violence against Black people and lynchings proliferate all across the country.
And this isn't even the first time the media and film has been used to shape the Black image in white minds or perpetuate racist ideas.
You are correct once again, David. In the 1830s, minstrel shows where white performers wore blackface and mimicked what they thought were characteristics of enslaved people were very popular in the North and Midwest. They were used to illustrate Black people as lazy, ignorant, laughable, irresponsible, and primal idiots that were hypersexualized and depicted as thieves and cowards. Your mama. And blackface made it all the way to the big screen, and guess what? Some of y'all's faves were active participants. And I'm not just talking about they played the white people in their productions. Shirley Temple had on the tar paint, as did Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland, effectively making minstrelsy family-friendly entertainment.
Speak on it.
It's important to remember, though, you wasn't taking none of this line down.
During that time, Black cinema was being advanced by greats like Oscar Micheaux. He was the very first Black indie filmmaker. Over the course of his career, Micheaux released 44 films and was commonly referred to as the Jackie Robinson of the film world.
Micheaux's stamp was showcasing Black people as teachers and lawyers, just regular human beings. But in 1920, he buzzed back and dropped Within Our Gates, a film developed to challenge The Birth of a Nation directly. Micheaux's work illustrated how Black people use cinema as a form of resistance. Just more proof that everything Black people do is political. Because as they say, if you are silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Please join me and David Diggs this Sunday on a special Black History Month version of The Let Out. Link in the bio.
Yeah, pull me up.